Hello student, in this class we learn standard primitive and the path of a standard primitive is create geometry standard primitive. And the first standard primitive is box. I click on this box button. Tool is activated now. If this button turn into blue, it means tool is active and now you can create box in the viewport. You can create box by two methods. First is keyboard entries and second is interactive. So first create by using keyboard entries. You can fill the value in left width height parameters like 11, 11, 11. When you click on this create button, a box will created in the center of this grid like this. Now if you want to create another object, so first you have to move this object in the left or right side because second object will be created in the same position. So I choose select and move tool and move in the X direction. Now I create this box by using click and drag method. So I choose this box again, click and drag for creating a base. And now I move this mouse little bit upside and provide height. Tool is still active, so I right click to exit this tool. If you want to change the parameter of this newly created box, go to modify and change the length, width and height parameters. I fill same values and hit enter. By using these methods, you can create any standard primitives. Now I go to create menu again and choose another standard primitive, sphere. Now I click and drag and provide radius. It's the only parameter in this standard primitive. If you want to change the size of this sphere, go to modify and change radius value like this. Or second option is segments. You can change the segment. It's related to smoothness like this. If you want to show these edges in this viewport, press F4. I increase again like this. These are other parameter in this standard primitive. By using this, you can modify the sphere like this. And second option is slice. By using slice, you can crop the sphere like this. From and to, two method is available here like this. Now I click create button and choose cylinder. Click and drag and provide a radius and then height. Right click to exit this tool and now go to modify and change radius value and the height value like this. You can change other parameters like height segment and cap segment. First little bit zoom and change these. Side, it's for smoothness. You can modify these side and the slice option is also available here and you can crop these cylinders like this. And this parameter for smoothness. Go to create button again and choose torus. It's like a tube object. Right click to exit this tool and modify the parameters. This primitive has two radius, first for outside and second for this thickness, and some other parameter related to these segments position. Segments for smoothness and side it's also for smoothness. Teapot, just click and drag like a sphere, so it's created. Now go to modify and this primitive has different body parts. By clicking on these buttons you can on or off these parts like handles or lid. and the only parameter is radius. You can increase or decrease or change the segment for smoothness. Now I create a cone. It's similar to create cylinder. First provide base radius and then provide height, and the third parameter is top radius, like this. You can check radius 1 for base, second radius for top. You can create a lamp by using this, and the third parameter is height, and the segments parameters also available here, and side. Another spherical shape is geosphere, but the geometry is different. It's triangle base, but it's also a sphere. I go to modify panel and check the parameters. Radius, similar parameters is available, but some geometry based parameters are available here, like this. These changes the dividation of these triangles and segments for smoothness. Tube, it's also like a cylinder, but it's hollow. First I create a base and then inner radius, then provide height. So these are parameters you can modify from here, like this. Next standard primitive is pyramid. It's like a cone. So first I provide a base and then provide height, like this. And the last primitive is plane. It's create a base like this. If some primitive is outside from this base, so first exit this tool by right click and select these objects and move little bit upside, like this. These are all standard primitive. By using select and move tool, you can change the position of these standard primitives like this, X or Y axis. Use these handles for move in the X or Y direction, like this. If you want to rotate any object, choose rotate tool. First I switch to 4 viewport. Teapot is selected and choose rotate tool. By click on this outside gray color circle, you can rotate any primitive like this. If you want to rotate any object in the perspective viewport, make sure these lines are selected like this. And the third tool is scale tool. By using this tool, you can scale any primitive in the particular axis or uniform. By using these axis handles, you can scale in particular axis like this. And from the center, you can uniformly scale like this. In this class, we learned how to create a standard primitive on viewport by using two different methods. And the second thing, we learned how to move, rotate, and scale these standard primitives. Now we meet in the next class.